Donald Trump took to Twitter Sunday afternoon to voice his displeasure with Democratic mayors and governors across the country who he feels are not taking enough action to stop violent rioters in their respective jurisdictions.
Get tough, Democrat mayors and governors, the president urged in a tweet. These people are anarchists. Call in our National Guard now.
The world is watching and laughing at you and Sleepy Joe, he continued of those leaders and the presumed Democratic nominee Joe Biden. Is this what America wants? No.
The president is referencing state and local elected officials who have still not called in the National Guard to help mitigate violent riots that have broken out in cities across the country.
By Sunday evening, Trump followed up his calls for the National Guard with a tweet that simply read, "Law and order."
Widespread looting and burning hit Philadelphia, Pennsylvania over the weekend, where stores including the Apple Store and Sephora were all smashed up and ransacked as people broke in and stole goods on Saturday.
At least 13 police officers were injured during the protests and parts of the city were left ablaze.
This led Pennsylvania's Democratic Governor Tom Wolf to sign an emergency declaration to assist the city, which continued to burn on Sunday.
Law and order in Philadelphia, now. The president said in a separate tweet. They are looting stores.
Call in our great National Guard like they finally did. Thank you, President Trump. Last night in Minneapolis, Trump demanded of the Pennsylvania governor. Is this what voters want with Sleepy Joe? All Dems.
The president is suggesting that Biden's presidency would lead to more unrest in race relations, especially between black citizens and white law enforcement, and urged that Democrats are worse at dealing with this tense situation.
The protests stemmed from a videotaped incident where a 46-year-old black man, George Floyd, was killed in Minneapolis during an arrest where 4 officers pinned him down.
One of the officers, a white man, can be seen on video kneeling on Floyd's neck during the arrest for more than 8 minutes as the victim is heard saying that he couldn't breathe.
The death sparked widespread rage across the nation as protests broke out in dozens of cities, including Minneapolis, where Floyd was killed, Philadelphia, Los Angeles, New York City, Atlanta, Washington, D.C., and many more.
Trump blamed the media for hyping up the situation, and claimed that different groups were trying to foment hatred, including putting the onus on Antifa, a usually violent left-wing radical anti-fascist movement.
The mainstream media is doing everything within their power to foment hatred and anarchy, Trump accused in a tweet Sunday. As long as everybody understands what they are doing, that they are fake news and truly bad people with a sick agenda, we can easily work through them to greatness.
Earlier in the day he announced he was designating Antifa as a terrorist group. The United States of America will be designating Antifa as a terrorist organization.
The president lauded the National Guard for dealing with the violent rioters in Minneapolis, where they were called in on Saturday.
Congratulations to our National Guard for the great job they did immediately upon arriving in Minneapolis, Minnesota, last night, he tweeted. The Antifa-led anarchists, among others, were shut down quickly.
But he added that the action should have been done by mayor on first night of the protests, claiming there would have been no trouble if that was done.
Other Democrat-run cities and states should look at the total shutdown of radical left anarchists in Minneapolis last night, the president said, in urging other states to call in the National Guard to cities being burned and looted by the violent protests.
The National Guard did a great job, and should be used in other states before it is too late, he assured.
While several black lawmakers and elected officials across the country are defending the protesters' rights to demonstrate, they are also demanding that the violence, looting, burning and destruction of cities come to an end.